Today's recipe is Chinese chicken curry.
Yes, and thank you very much, Mum. You have no idea how many times we had to practice that first bit.
Unbelievable.
About 20, 30 times. Yeah. Anyway, Chinese chicken curry has loads of different variations. We've obviously shown you a few before in the past. This is another one. So today we're going to be showing you the paste, how to make the sauce, and then put it all together as a main dish. Yeah, Ma?
That's right. Don't go away. Sit back and enjoy.
If you like this style of cooking, make sure to subscribe, follow, comment, and hit that notification buttons to see us whenever our new videos come up. We do weekly videos, and soon we'll be taking this full time, so we'll be doing more videos more often. Right, to start off, we're going to use some veg oil, and we're going to use a lot of it. All the ingredients and amounts are listed in the description below. But if you want all the extra perks like written method, videos before everyone else, once a month Q&As with just me and Mum and no one else can be in them apart from Recipe Vault members, then think about joining our Recipe Vault. If you don't want to support like that, that's absolutely fine. Just make sure you hit the like button and comment because it helps so much. Anyway, back to the recipe. And in the previous videos, we've actually shown you the slower way of doing this, which in our opinion is the better way. But nowadays, everything is done for speed, so they'll heat up the oil first. It does mean that your end product comes quicker, but it also means that you can't really get loads of the flavors out of the ingredients that we're about to put in. It's a small trade-off for time, to be honest, but it's totally up to you. This hot oil way is pretty good to use if you're not that great at cooking. The slow way takes time, patience, and it does require a little bit of knowledge of how your vegetables look before you touch them, because if you touch them too much, they can go mushy and you'll never get an aromatic oil. This way, when they go in, they dehydrate much faster and they're way less likely to go mushy. But on the other side, they're far more likely to burn, and you are dealing with hot oil. So it's up to you which version you want to pick. You don't want this oil too hot though, probably around 150 degrees C. So around 300 degrees Fahrenheit. When it reaches that temperature, we've got some sliced onions here, and that's just going to go straight in. Some sliced
Celery.
leeks.
Oh yeah, leeks, yeah.
And the reason we slice them on an angle like that is because if you slice them as discs, they roll off. Your chopping board, that is.
This is celery.
Yeah, this is definitely celery.
Carrots. Garlic.
Crushed garlic, fresh you want.
Crush.
Yeah.
And star anise.
Yeah.
And clove.
Stop saying and when it's not the last thing. Now you can say and.
And bay leaves.
There you go. So then we're just going to leave this on a high heat.
I already can start smelling a hint of the
Aromas and stuff,
yes.
yeah. Turning it every sort of 5 minutes until all that vegetation has gone crispy. If you go over, you pretty much ruined it. You can't really save it if you've burnt the ingredients in. The best way to tell is just by looking at your ingredients, and if they're a nice golden brown colour, you're pretty safe. You might not have got all the flavour out of that vegetation in there, but you would have got most of it. In our opinion, if you're doing this, it's better to under sort of cook it than it is to over, because over means burnt and it's going to be bitter. Under means it's still usable. This has been on for about 20-25 minutes on the highest heat possible. Now you can see, for those of you who have done a long method, that you'll end up with all your bits being this lovely golden colour here. Whereas the fast version, you will end up with quite a lot of it undercooked. That's just the nature of, you know, cooking it fast. You're going to end up with bits that are touching each other. Whereas if you do it slowly, you really allow all the areas and all the parts of the vegetable to mix into the oil and really render out that flavour in there. This next step is really important as well. You want to do it when it's still fairly hot, and that's drain the oil all off. If you attempt to do this when the oil is cool, you'll get lots of it stick to the watma.
Stick to the ingredient.
Ingredient?
Yes.
The vegetation and stuff in there.
Oh yeah, you have the vegetables.
No, you're right with ingredients, you just said it a bit weird. You said it like a thespian.
Oh, all right then.
Like an actor.
All right, I'm an actor today, okay?
So yeah, that's why we do this when it's hot.
Or to be, not to be.
Okay, that was... Well done, Mum.
I'm very pleased with myself.
Yeah,
I
I can tell you're very pleased with yourself there.
Well, a bit of Shakespeare.
Yeah, why not? The bard himself.
Yeah. Long time ago.
Yeah, this dish definitely did not exist back then because it is fairly new. I know we'll have people in the comments going, oh, that's not a Chinese dish. You're right, it was invented in probably like the 50s and 60s for the British palate. But there's actually a version of this in Singapore called Hainan Singapore curry rice. The same, but not the same. It's really awesome, and it's a very popular street food. Oh, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
This here, you can put it into the freezer and then use it for stock later on. Just be mindful that it is quite oily. Then I'm going to fish this one out. So now we've got this oil, we're just going to leave this to the side for a bit. Well, I'm just getting the next bit of equipment out. Just want to give a shout out to Alan Sargent for being the newest Diamond member of the Recipe Vault. So thank you very much for that. Good,
Alan.
Good solid thumbs up for that. So well done, Alan. Now we're just going to get a banana. And the banana is used in traditional Chinese takeaway curry for like a bit of sweetness and mainly texture to the dish. Lots of other fruit are used in our own one that we sell on our web store. This one right here is very different from this, and we use different fruit. The banana is in this as well, but we use a slightly different recipe. Actually, massively different recipe from the one we're showing you today. If you want to know where to get that,
just comment, we'll get back to you.
We get lots of good compliments on that. Most takeaways nowadays are actually buying the curry paste in. And if you'd like to know what brands they are, just comment below and we will let you know. We can also let you know where to get them as well. So in goes some banana.
You're going to blitz it.
Yeah.
You're upside down.
Oh my. That's why it wasn't
right,
fit.
yeah.
Right, here we go. And then when you've got a very fine paste, it's ready to use. So we're bringing back that aromatic oil we made, and you want to use all of it as much as you can. This is going to make quite a few servings. Yeah, but it will last in your fridge for at least 2 weeks. You can freeze it as well. We actually put it in our fridge and it lasts us months. But health and safety says we should say 2 weeks, but we do the jam test. If it looks good, it doesn't have fluff all over it from mold, we still use it. But we say 2 weeks in the fridge and then any longer to freeze it. So from all of that oil we made, we actually lost about 100 millilitres, and that's just, it's gonna happen. It's gonna go inside the vegetables.
Yeah, vaporization.
Yeah, vaporization, all that kind of good stuff when you're cooking. But as long as you've got 500 here, this is gonna work. If you don't have 500, just add more oil till you have 500. It's not gonna be as flavory, but you know, as long as you've got the 500 and the amount's in the description below, you should be fine. So we've got some plain flour here, gonna add that in.
Curry powder?
Yeah, we're using Eastern Star because it is our favorite, but any sort of madrasa Chinese takeaway we'll use. Specifically though, they will find something called a Malaysian curry powder. It's just called Malaysian curry powder. There's lots of different brands out there. Eastern Star is our favorite to use, but this is what good places will be using in our opinion. This is coconut cream. It comes in like a block, it's solid, and then you just chop it up and then we add it to this. In previous recipes, we've added it when we're making the sauce. You can add extra at that point, but doing it this way, you don't have to. This is more of a new school kind of way of doing it, mixed with an old school way.
And banana paste.
Yeah.
Did any one of you have banana sandwich? Mashed banana sandwich?
I used to, but I can't stand the taste of banana now. Normally takeaways aren't going to be seasoning at this stage, but we are because this is for home use. It just takes a little bit of seasoning step away from the final version and makes it last a little bit longer.
Salt. Hashtag MSG massive.
Yeah. Then we're just going to mix this all in. Now, of course, you guys are going to see versions of this that have had lots of spices added to it. We're just doing an almost off-the-shelf version today, just to give you an idea of how many places are doing it. That's all we're doing. There's no need to be angry at us for that. We have done more complicated recipes for this in the past. Now all the ingredients are mixed in, we're doing this on a low heat, and we're going to cook it off for about 30 to 40 minutes. Longer if you can do it. Slower the longer the better, because the final texture is better. The longer you cook it, the less sort of spices you can feel in your mouth and it goes smoother. But also you don't want to overcook it, because if you overcook it, you burn it. So a good medium-low heat, I'd say. Unfortunately, this is something you can't just leave.
No, you cannot just walk away and come back. You have to be stand there and stirring it
Yeah.
at all time.
Well, you can, I'd say, you can kind of leave it, but for no more than a minute.
Yeah. Hey, a minute gone.
You're on form today, aren't you? Huh? I'll tell you why, and I'll show you the footage. I wasn't going to put this in, but I thought it was funny. So this is why Mum's a little bit bubblier today.
Can I go and have a shot of alcohol?
Yeah, you can go have a shot of alcohol. Go on, off you go.
Going.
Yeah. No, we're not going anywhere now. It's your day off, Mum.
Day off.
Day off. Hence the shot.
Yeah. Normally, sometime after video, I got an errand to do.
Yeah.
To dry, that's why.
Right, so this is about ready now. We've been cooking this off for about 35 minutes. We have put the temperature up a little bit just because we know how the ingredients react to the temperature, but I'd suggest first time doing this, keep it on medium-low all the time and don't even attempt to turn the temperature up. You'll know when it's done because it will just smell a little bit different, and also the colour changes. But if you're in doubt, medium-low heat, cook it off for 35 to 40 minutes and it's definitely going to be ready. So now this paste you can actually dish up.
When it cool down.
When it cooled down, yeah. It works, it's tastier 24 hours after you've made it. But if you don't have that time, you can use it straight away. But it really does make a massive difference to let it rest.
And dust.
Yeah, we're actually going to use this right away. Are we? Or should we use our own paste? No, we're going to use this right away.
Yeah.
Just to show you what it should look like on the camera. But usually you definitely want to let this cool down first at least. So we're using chicken breast today. Most takeaways aren't going to be velveting this like we are. We're just showing you because it's our favourite way of making chicken. Most are going to be using pre-bought-in steamed chicken, which is actually way more expensive than doing it this way. It's just a lot of people nowadays are so used to that steamed texture that they like it, so it's more bought in. We're just going to cut this. I'm going to find where the grain of the chicken is, which is the direction of the muscle fibres. I'm going to cut across it. Full disclosure though, if we were cooking for ourselves at home, we'd be using chicken thigh.
Chicken thighs, yes. That's for sure.
Remember the quantities below are for one portion, not what we show you to cook on here, because we do a little bit extra just to make the photo look better.
For footage.
Yeah, footage, yeah, that's it. Into the chicken we're going to put some bicarbonate of soda. You don't need to wash this off if you're only using a small amount. There's people who don't know how to use it that will wash it off, will tell you to wash it off. Doesn't mean they're wrong, because some places will overload it with bicarb, which will make it really, really, really soft and almost gooey texture. But a lot of people like that, so it depends what you want to do.
Bit of a potato starch, MSG, bit of light soil, garlic powder, touch of oil.
Yeah, this is actually optional. You don't really need the oil. It's just so when we put it in the fridge, it keeps it nice and, I was going to say nice and dry, but nice and the opposite of dry. Moist, but lots of people don't want to use that word, so I don't use that word. And don't worry, putting the oil into this isn't going to stop those flavours from going into the chicken. Someone was concerned about that the other day. That's only if you're using... That only really applies to non-porous materials, or you're literally dousing it in oil first, then trying to marinate it or velvet it. But you don't need to worry about that.
No, the oil just stop it from getting a bit dry, that's all.
Yeah, completely
basically.
optional. Yeah. If you don't want to add those calories, you don't need to. So we're going to leave that in the fridge for 20 minutes overnight for best results. So first off, we're going to do this how like a takeaway would use it, not like how you would use it at home, because I think it makes a better end result, and it only dirtens up an extra pan. So I think we're going to show you how we do it at home if we're going to make this for ourselves. So we're going to put a little bit of veg oil into the pan, and then we're going to take some of our paste that we made. So we're just going to cook this off a little bit first, and the only reason I suggest doing this is just in case you haven't cooked your flour long enough the first time. The chances of that are quite slim if you've done it for 40 minutes, but it's just a double check. If you're confident enough that you have cooked your flour the first time,
You don't need to do that stage then.
yeah, you can just start adding your water, which is what we're going to do now. Just small small amounts at a time.
And you just add the water to the consistent of the curry sauce you like to be.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of places as well, to get that sort of not grainy texture, but that thick texture, will add almond paste powder. That's one that I haven't seen anyone online tell you either. So you're welcome for that. Okay, so that's about the consistency I want. I know it's going to evaporate a little bit because I do actually want it a bit thicker, but that is good enough for me. If you want it a bit more coconutty, you can add more of that coconut cream. Don't put coconut milk in. Takeaways aren't doing that. If you want to though, you can, but it won't taste like a takeaway curry anymore.
To be the coconut block, okay?
Yeah.
Coconut cream.
It has a completely different flavour.
Yeah.
But we're going to set this aside, and we're not going to season this bit. So we're just going to add some veg oil to a pan here. We're going to bring all of this together. So
When it's hot, put your chicken in.
now with velvet chicken, it's quite important to keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn, especially if you're using garlic powder. It's also much easier if you've got a non-stick wok to use velveted meat. If you've got a cast iron or carbon steel and you've seasoned it well, you're going to have to let it sit for a good 15 to 20 seconds before you can move it, otherwise it will stick. People that say you can only get takeaway flavours in a carbon steel or a...
Utensil.
Not utensil.
Wok.
Thank you. Yeah, but that's not a carbon steel or steel wok. Honestly, just don't understand the science behind it. Or they're working off old dogma and aren't capable of learning new things. I think I don't have a problem with people saying they prefer it. I prefer using non-stick because it doesn't stick. Some people prefer the carbon steel woks just because it's nice, feels nice to use. I get it, totally get it. I grew up using the carbon steel ones. You know, I've been in the kitchen with them for nearly 3 decades. I just think for home cooking, these are so much better and easier to use.
Try it. It might be a game changer for you.
There is obviously one downside, and that is when these go, you do have to buy a new one. So I fully get that aspect as well. But to say you can't get the same results at home is just wrong. And they're normally really arrogant when they say it as well. When your chickens are nicely browned off, we're going to add some onions and some carrots.
Salt. MSG.
I want to brown off that MSG. I'm going to add devil fruit.
Mushroom.
Hate them with a passion. And peas. I did an actual poll on this. Most places in the UK actually serve them with peas. What are your thoughts? Should peas be in a Chinese curry or not? Comment below. I know it makes a lot of you very angry. Now, because I've got mushrooms in here, I'm just going to add a little bit of water, and that will deglaze the base a little bit and help steam through the mushrooms. Which is another reason why when I'm doing this and I'm cooking with mushrooms, I've left the sauce slightly thicker.
That's because the mushroom has got a lot of moisture.
Yeah.
It's oozed out moisture.
Yeah. So now I'm going to pour the curry sauce into the mix, and then I'm just going to stir this in. This is the bit I cannot tell you to do because it's completely down to you.
At this point, if you want to add a bit more seasoning to your own taste, that's fine.
Yeah, but for us, this is absolutely brilliant. So here we go. I forgot what it is. Curry.
Curry.
A Chinese chicken curry. It takes
Yeah.
a while to do this from start to finish. So here we go, Ma. You trying first?
Yes.
Do the chili manually. Lots of chili. How are you finding it so far, Ma? Words?
It's amazingly good. I like it with the texture, with the mushroom and everything.
These are ones we had earlier for the footage. So I'm just going to eat from here. The
And the sauce is creamy.
yeah, it's. I'll be honest. Considering it's like a standard version or common version, it's always really good. I like a takeaway. Really, it has to be really bad for me not to enjoy it. And even then, I think, oh, they probably had a bad day. And when I say bad, I mean like zero flavour whatsoever. Is this like our curry? No. It lacks a lot of depth, sort of like aromatics in our one that you can't get in this one, or don't get in this one.
It's still good.
Yeah, it's still really good.
I like a bit of chili in it.
Remember, I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now. Our first cookbook, if you ordered it anytime in January onwards, has been a pre-order. It has been held up a little bit. We're looking at mid-May / mid-June delivery to you guys at home. Unfortunately, there is a worldwide shipping crisis and there's a lot of stuff going on in terms of world economics right now, so it has been held up a little bit.
So it's not just our shipping, it's everyone.
Yeah, there's literally nothing we could do to avoid it, so we apologise for that, even though it's not our fault. And we did actually say that this could be a possibility in the listing, because it has happened before in the past. Didn't actually happen last time, but the time before that it very much did. So, you know, we just wanted to make people aware, and thank you for everyone who understands that. By the way, this principle for this works with any type of meat. Tofu, you know,
Beef.
king prawns, whatever. It's exactly the same process. Okay, the velveting is going to be different depending on what meat you're using, but to get to that end stage, aside from the meat, exactly the same.
Yeah, we'll do the one with beef again.
You just want to make a lemon beef curry, don't you?
Yeah.
Because we did it like away. Lots of places do the beef last time, but it's basically deep fried, and we don't like that version. So maybe do you mean do our version?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Really good.
It's good. Have you got anything you want to add into?
No, I don't actually. No.
So we just withdrew ourselves now.
We will just withdraw. Off we go, Ma.
It's not the right word.
No. So we're finishing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to say thank you very much for watching, guys? Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us loads. Ma,
Happy cooking, happy eating.
take care. Bye bye.